So, I've been diving into the buzz around UFO sightings recently. It's quite an intriguing topic, right? Now, amidst all the stories and eyewitness accounts, there's this big hurdle that keeps popping up: the lack of physical evidence. You see, for any claim or sighting to be taken seriously in the scientific community, there has to be some sort of tangible evidence that can be poked, prodded, and analyzed under a microscope, quite literally. Now, let's take a closer look at why physical evidence is such a big deal and how its absence or presence shapes the narrative around UFO sightings. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a new video, click the bell icon as well. It really helps me out and I appreciate it a lot. Alright, let's get started. Alright, let's delve a bit deeper into why this physical evidence thing is a big deal. Imagine you're telling your friends about a rare bird you spotted in your backyard. It's exciting, but to make others really believe what you saw, a clear photo of the bird would do wonders, right? The same goes for UFO sightings. Now, in the scientific world, saying, "I saw something strange in the sky," doesn't hold much water unless you've got something solid to back up your claim. That's where physical evidence comes into play. It's like the golden ticket that grants entry into the realm of serious investigation. Scientists love things they can touch, measure, and analyze because it gives them concrete data to work with. In other fields of inquiry, collecting evidence is a bit more straightforward. For instance, if someone claims to have discovered a new type of rock, they can present the rock for analysis. But UFO sightings? They're fleeting moments that leave behind little to no trace, making the collection of physical evidence a tough nut to crack. The scarcity of physical evidence in UFO sightings leaves a gaping hole in our ability to either debunk or validate these sightings. It's like being handed a mystery novel with the last few chapters torn out. You have a sense of the story, but the conclusion is nowhere in sight. But let's say, on a lucky day, someone manages to snag a clear photo or video of a UFO, or better yet, some debris from a supposed UFO landing site. That's when things get interesting. Such evidence can be scrutinized, tested in labs, and debated among experts. The tangible evidence provides something real for the scientific community to sink their teeth into, moving the discussion from "what if" to "let's explore." However, such instances are rare, and the challenge of obtaining physical evidence remains a towering hurdle in the quest to unravel the mysteries surrounding UFO sightings. It's a tough scene, but the desire to uncover the truth keeps the intrigue alive and the discussions buzzing. Let's chat about the techie side of things. You know how nowadays almost everyone has a smartphone with a pretty decent camera? It's like we've all got this mini recording studio right in our pockets. This tech boom has been kind of a blessing and a curse when it comes to chasing down evidence of UFO sightings. On the bright side, if a UFO decides to make an appearance, there's a good chance someone might catch it on camera. And not just any camera, but a high-resolution one that can capture clearer images and videos than what we had a couple of decades ago. This is a big leap forward because the better the quality of the photo or video, the more details we can pick out. It's like the difference between watching a movie in HD versus on an old fuzzy TV screen. And with social media, these images and videos can spread like wildfire, stirring up public interest and sometimes even catching the eye of researchers. Now, besides our handy smartphones, there's other tech gear that's helping out. Things like high-powered telescopes, infrared cameras, and radar systems can provide different ways of detecting and recording unusual aerial phenomena. When used right, these gadgets can offer a more solid footing for analyzing what's actually going on in our skies. But here's the kicker. The same tech that's helping us capture potential UFO sightings is also making it super easy for pranksters to cook up hoaxes. With a bit of know-how, someone can whip up a realistic-looking UFO video using computer graphics or tweak photos to make ordinary aircraft look like something out of this world. It's a wild west of misinformation out there, and sifting through the real versus fake stuff is like looking for a needle in a haystack. And it doesn't stop there. Even when a genuine piece of evidence surfaces, figuring out what it actually shows is a whole other ballgame. Is it an alien spacecraft, a secret military project, or just a drone with a funky design? The line between fact and fiction gets blurry real fast. So, while technology has thrown us a lifeline in collecting physical evidence, it also tosses in a bunch of curveballs that can lead us off track. It's a tricky terrain, but an exciting one, with every clear image or piece of evidence bringing us a step closer to, or further from, solving the grand UFO puzzle. This tech tangle is just one part of the story, though. There's also a bunch of societal attitudes and stigmas wrapped up in the UFO discussion that play a big role in how we deal with physical evidence. And that's the alley we'll wander down next. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about what people think and feel when UFOs enter the conversation. There's this thick cloud of stigma that hangs around the topic. Say the word UFO, and some folks might picture tinfoil hats and alien conspiracy theories. It's a tough crowd, especially in the scientific community where the motto is to see it to believe it. Now, this societal side-eye towards UFOs can really put a damper on collecting solid evidence. Imagine someone spots a UFO but brushes it off or keeps it under wraps, fearing they'd be laughed off the stage. That's a lost opportunity for gathering evidence right there. It's like having a treasure map but being too embarrassed to follow it because of what others might think. And this isn't just about individuals. Even professionals in aviation or the military might hesitate to report strange aerial sightings. There's a career reputation to think about, and nobody wants to be the UFO guy at work, right? This hush-hush attitude means that many sightings might go unreported and any evidence that could have been collected vanishes into thin air. But it's not all gloom and doom. There are some brave souls pushing against the tide, like the pilots and military personnel who've come forward with their encounters, adding a layer of credibility to the UFO discussion. Their accounts, backed by radar data or videos, become a valuable piece of the puzzle. And then there are organizations and research groups dedicated to investigating UFO phenomena in a serious, no-nonsense manner. They're working on creating a safe space where folks can report sightings without fear of ridicule, and where any evidence can be collected and analyzed in a scientific light. The journey to change attitudes is a slow and steady one. Every credible report or piece of evidence chips away at the wall of skepticism, opening doors to a more open and serious discussion about what's really flying around in our skies. This societal landscape creates a complex backdrop against which the hunt for physical evidence unfolds. It's a blend of fear, curiosity, and the thirst for knowledge driving different reactions to UFO sightings and the evidence they leave behind. And speaking of evidence, there are steps being taken to make the quest for physical evidence a bit less like chasing shadows. So, with all these hurdles in the way, you might wonder, how are we ever going to get to the bottom of the UFO mystery? Well, there are some solid steps being taken to make this quest less of a wild goose chase and more of a structured investigation. Let's dive into that. First off, there's a growing number of organizations and even governmental bodies that are stepping up to the plate. They are setting up official channels where folks can report UFO sightings without being laughed out of the room. It's like having a dedicated desk where you can drop off your UFO story and know it'll be taken seriously. These bodies are also working on standardizing how UFO investigations are carried out. This is super important because having a set of common guidelines means that everyone's singing from the same hymn sheet. It makes the whole process more transparent and reliable. So, if someone stumbles upon what they believe is physical evidence of a UFO, there's a clear path on how to report it, who to hand it over to, and how it will be analyzed. Then there's the big push to get the scientific community more involved. By building bridges between UFO researchers and other scientific disciplines, the aim is to create a more open and collaborative environment. It's like inviting more brains to the party to mull over the evidence and draw conclusions. This multidisciplinary approach can help peel back the layers of mystery surrounding UFO sightings and bring a dose of scientific rigor to the table. And let's not forget the role of technology, which we chatted about earlier. With better tech tools in hand, the process of collecting and analyzing evidence can become more robust. It's about upgrading from a magnifying glass to a high-powered microscope to get a clearer view of what we're dealing with. But despite these advances, the road to collecting indisputable physical evidence of UFOs is still a bumpy one. Each step forward is a drop in the bucket towards building a stronger case for serious UFO investigations. It's a mix of changing attitudes, better tools, and a structured approach that might someday lift the veil on the UFO enigma. The quest for physical evidence in UFO sightings is like piecing together a giant cosmic puzzle. And while the picture is far from complete, each effort to tackle the evidence dilemma adds a piece to the UFO puzzle, bringing us closer to understanding the big picture of what's really happening in our skies. The story of UFO sightings and the pursuit of physical evidence is an unfolding narrative. Each page turned reveals a bit more, yet leaves us yearning to know the whole story. It's a testament to our inherent curiosity and the unyielding drive to explore the unknown. And who knows? With a blend of open minds, sharp eyes, and scientific tenacity, we might just unravel the UFO enigma someday. If you like what I do in here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.